Okay, so this is not something that is going to be very common, and hopefully that you don't have to do frequently. But if you ever do need to rearrange how your attribute values are showing up in the order that they're showing up on your website or something, that can be done. Um, Typically, we recommend if it's easy, you don't have too many values, that you just do some drag and drop. You just move them to the order that you want them in. But if you do have hundreds of these values on an attribute, that can get time consuming. So there is a way to do this. Now it's not something that we typically do, so it's a little bit different than our normal upload. So what we need to do is we'll need to export this. So there's and we're just going to do, in this case, I am only trying to alphabetize the attribute brand, and not even alpha. I'm just trying to change the order, and it's accompanying 4 different values. I want to change the order of these. So I only want to export this brand. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do action export as always, and then I want to update this. Now what this does, we are going to pull all of this out because we're not working on the attribute, we're working on the values. So we need the value here, the value external ID, and then the value sequence. And that's all that we should do, because we already have the everything else there. So we're just going to export this, and that will give us a file like this. So you can see there's already a little bit of a difference. So I'm going to pull this open because I've changed one that I've been working on, and then this is, so on the left here is the one that I've been working on, and then on the right is the one that I just downloaded. So hopefully you can kind of see that there is a little bit of a difference here, and we don't need this whole screen for either of them. So I'm going to try and do a little bit of manipulation here so that you're not seeing a whole bunch of garbage on my screen. So now that we have that, you'll notice that there was just a couple of and not any real difference here. So we have the ID, which this is the brand, so this is the attribute brand, and then these are the values that we've exported, and then this is their sequence. So I didn't, like Michael Miller, its sequence was 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what we can do, if we need to, if we want to change these and say, hey, we want Riley Blake to be first, I would just change it with the numbers that I have here, and then Moda to be second, and Free Spirit to be third, and then Michael Miller to be last. So we're actually going to reverse this. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And you can save it, you could rename it if you need to and save it as. I just know kind of what I want to work with here. So that's all that we need to do. So you just need to have those field. You need the value ID and the values ID sequence. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come into our back into Stride, and we're going to go to Favorites, Import Records. We're going to upload a file, and we're going to grab that one that we just worked on. And we don't need this because this is what represents that. So we can test this if we want to. Everything seems valid. Now we can go ahead and import that. Now if we come look at brand, we'll see that Riley Blake was first, Moda, Free Spirit, Michael Miller. And if we go back to our Excel file here, it was showing at first that Michael Miller, Free Spirit, Moda, Riley Blake. So we changed that order, and now it's this way. So that it is doable. So now we got Riley Blake, Moda, Free Spirit, Michael Miller's last instead of first. It can be done. Again, this is something that we hope that isn't, you don't have to do very often. You just need to be able to export the correct items and then re-import them. Thanks.